Hi everybody, Lucretia here. Welcome, welcome. Now, for those of you who haven't tuned in before, I just need to let you know that I'm on a bit of a quest to take away some of the mystery and yes, a little bit of the intrigue about the psychic world. And so I've been going around interviewing some fabulous people about if they're psychic or not, or what they do call themselves. And today I have the fabulous Anne Aleckson with me.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Anne.
My absolute pleasure. I love talking about these things.
Excellent. That's great because so do I. All right. Get ready, world. Here it comes.
Woohoo.
So, hi, Holly. Nice to see you, honey. Okay. So, Anne, the first question. Do you call yourself psychic?
I don't really, no. I try not to because I think it can contain you in a much smaller container.
Okay.
Because, you know, we're all so much more than that as well. Yes, we're psychic and we can tell the future, and of course there's this perception in the world that a psychic is someone who will tell you your future, and I won't do that. I could,
yeah,
but my passion really is to have you be self-empowered, and that means that I don't tell you your future, I tell you how to create your future.
Yes, looking at the possibilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Viv. Hello, Miss Ruth too. Nice to see
Hello,
you guys.
Hi.
So, you don't call yourself psychic. What do you call yourself then?
I am actually a direct voice channel. That's what I call myself. I have the innate ability of moving my conscious mind out of the way and allowing my non-physical stream of consciousness group that I call All That Is to use my throat to speak. So when they're coming through, I do have psychic abilities, and I do have I have all my clairs activate when they're coming through, and obviously through life as well, because I kind of walk my talk. But yeah, all the abilities come through at that time. I've got healing, psychic, mediumship, all sorts of things.
Okay. And so when did this all, were you aware of having this gift when you were like 5, or when did it all kind of,
well,
how did that work for you?
That's an interesting question, because I kind of walked through life without knowing about it, and yet when you say 5, it's interesting that you chose that age, because I do, once I started doing this work and started having these conversations with my guides, they showed me a number of times that they'd shown up in my life, throughout my life. And one of those ages was when I was around 5, and I had, we were playing cops and robbers, or cowboys and Indians in the backyard. I've got a big family, 6 kids. That I grew up with, and we were playing that, and I got shot and I fell down in the grass and was just looking up, and I saw the sky kind of open up, and I had this experience of seeing my future, and so they explained to me that that was them. So that was really interesting.
Wow.
And I blacked all these things out, and then they showed me another thing that happened to me. I went to an all-girls boarding school in Sydney, and when I must have been 13 at the time, and we had a Ouija board experience. One of the girls brought a Ouija board back from home after the holidays, and we sat and we did the thing. Nothing happened apparently. But they showed me a memory that I'd blocked out again of waking up what I thought was a day later. And everyone was looking at me strange, and one of them ran off to get my sister, who was also at school. And I was like, what's going on? And apparently I had actually slept, laid in my bed the whole day before with a big smile on my face. I know.
Wow, because they were showing you stuff.
All I can remember is remembering this nun slapping me on the face and telling me to stop being a silly girl. But apparently I lay in bed all day with a smile on my face at boarding school.
And do you remember anything do you remember anything from what you,
well,
I mean, why were you lying in bed smiling is the question, I suppose.
It felt more to me like they were having an experience through me of being a human body.
Yes.
You know, and it wasn't a takeover kind of thing. It was just, and so they started showing me these different experiences through my life that I had and then just completely blocked out until I was ready to open, which was about 13 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, I mean, the thing is to remember is that for our guides, they don't know what it's like to be in a physical form because they're in an energetic form.
Exactly.
So yeah, and when you first start to bring your guides through your physical, like certainly for me, I used to fight it. I used to do this gagging thing. It's so unattractive. This like because they were trying to come through my physical form, and I was trying to channel them, but my physical was like, what the heck is going on? My mind was like, no, I don't think so. And so I did this gagging thing, and the people I'd work with doing the channeling would have to step back. They thought I was going to vomit all over them. Because
isn't it interesting?
It can be that dramatic for your physical to work out what's going on and to adjust.
It's resistance. You know,
Yes,
we experience resistance constantly. Lots of people, sorry about the train, guys.
There goes the train, baby.
Lots of people are going through heaps of resistance at the
Yes.
moment, as we all know. But the resistance that comes when you are having these sorts of experiences, after having done it for 13 years now and doing it quite publicly, I literally went straight into the public arena doing it. I don't know why, because I still had all this fear around it, but it was like a compulsion. I had to do it, regardless of how stupid I might have looked to people.
Which you didn't.
You know, I was thinking about that all the time. When they're coming through, I'm up here having a conversation, questioning myself, and oh my God, I hope they understand what I'm saying, and these sorts of things. But where was I going with that? The resistance that you have, the physical resistance. When I first started, and there's some videos on YouTube, I sounded really strange. Because when they come through, they use my voice box to speak. And it used to, people would say, oh, you've got a Russian accent, or you've got a Chinese accent, or all sorts of, my voice changed quite a lot. But now it doesn't change so much, because I'm no longer resisting it. But as well as that, I've raised my vibrational frequency to a level where when they come in, it's not so much of a bump. It's not as big a bump as it used to be.
Interesting.
So
Interesting. Anne and I were talking earlier about the thing is with this manifests so differently for different people. So Anne's experience of how she channels through the energetic the entity that you're working with, what do you call it?
So non-physical stream of consciousness.
Non-physical stream of consciousness is what she calls it. And the other thing is people call these all different types of things. So as I do more of these chats, you'll get a bit more of a handle on how there's so much diversity in this space. And that's really important to know, isn't it? So when I channel guides, like my guides, my voice absolutely does change. Like, and I actually will look transformed as well. People have said to me, I look different, and I've got like a whole collection of them. There's not just one. So the fact you're just channeling from one source now.
Well, no, mine is actually so I call it a non-physical stream of consciousness. That's actually what they've told me. They are a highly evolved non-physical stream of consciousness. Now, the best way that I found to describe it is through the words of someone else. I had another channel psychic healer sit beside me one day when I was channeling, and he said to me, oh, you know what it's like for me watching you? It's almost like you're an island, and you all these non-physical or boats dock at the island, speak through you to whoever they're speaking to, and then they go off and another one comes in. So it's quite extensive. Another guy who is a channel as well said to me that he said the first time I saw you channel, you started speaking, and as I looked in your energy field, I saw your main guide, and he winked at me. Then he moved his head to the side, and there were just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of light beings behind him, as if they were waiting to take their turn.
They were queuing up.
So I thought, I love that image of my main guide winking, because that would make total sense to me. Very cheeky and irreverent.
Yes.
And all of these things.
Yes. So I would call that one for me as a gatekeeper guide. That's how I refer to my main guy. And he, the last time I was channeling, he didn't come through first, and sometimes they don't. Someone else, the person I was working with, said, oh, where is, the guy, the gatekeeper guide? And the guide who had come through me at that point said, oh, he's back there doing crowd control. So I totally get it.
Yeah, and our guides change constantly. I mean, that guide that I just referred to, he rarely is in my stream anymore, because, you know, as I've evolved,
Yeah.
and as the world's evolved and people have become more accepting of various things or whatever, there's no need for that.
For you,
No.
there isn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for me, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And new levels come in, new guides come in. I'm working with lots of star families now, so that's pretty full on, but it's very exciting.
It's really full on.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So it's just really about realizing that everyone works so differently. Hi, Janice. Everyone works so differently in this space. Our experiences are so different. So sometimes you might be someone who works with guides, sometimes you might go direct to source, sometimes you might bounce between the two, sometimes you work the way that you're talking about.
Yep.
It's just so many diverse ways to connect in, and it's so unique to every person. And the really important thing, I think, is to accept that you don't have to do this like everyone else.
Exactly. But I also would like to add to that I think you also have to accept that it's going to change constantly as you
Yes.
change, because in you know, in times gone by, in the older style of spirituality, it used to be that you would have a guide come in and you would channel that guide, and that would be the thing that you channel forever, and it would become like a guru type relationship with the audience and things like that. But we're moving beyond that. We're really moving into this place of oneness where, like, we're the same person, so therefore the guides and things, the energy that comes through is all the same. It just expresses differently through my experience or through how I like to deliver things and stuff like that. It's not about giving up for them your humanity. It's about bringing the two things together.
Yeah, so we were talking about that also before we started the interview, about how sometimes when you first step into this energetic spiritual space, you feel like you need to kind of let go of what you were before, and you don't really pay as much attention to your physical, and that is where you can have some really less than ideal experiences, I'm going to put it that way, which is one of the reasons why through the work that I do with my clients, I'm so clear about making sure you are super grounded when you start, that you really are considering your physical big time, because your physical needs to be able to manage this energy running through it. And if you don't manage it, if you don't make sure your physical is looked after, you can actually burn yourself out. So it won't matter what kind of connection you've got going on up here, it could be incredibly amazing. But if your physical can't cope and if your mind can't cope, you're kind of screwing yourself over, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I so agree with you. And, you know, I had that personal experience myself, because I take all of my guidance from my guides. I'd never been involved in psychic work or knew anybody until this started happening for me. So I've always taken all of my teaching from my own consciousness, super conscious mind, guides, whatever you want to call it. And at one stage, and this is just an example that I think everyone can relate to, because so many of us suffer with money problems.
Yes.
And I was at the point where I was not being able to pay my rent, you know, on time, always eventually, and I was sick of it. And I got off the phone with a client who just literally manifested $10,000 after a phone call with us. And
Nice.
I got really, really angry, and I said, I swore, I won't swear, I'll be polite. But
Swear away, you're good
essentially, I looked up to the sky, where I sometimes imagine my guidance comes from, and I said, what the fuck is going on here? Why can I never make this sort of money? Why am I sitting here almost at the point again of being homeless, not making enough money? And they said, oh, is it that important to you? I was like, what do you mean, is it that important to me? And they said, well, you act as though you don't matter. Big slap across the face. Big slap across the face.
So you were spending so much time up here above your head,
Yep.
and not enough
Giving
time
them
in the
all the
physical.
credit, as so many of us do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Oh, it's not
Absolutely.
me, it's...
Yes. But you have to be the channel for it.
Exactly.
Right? You are the channel
You're
for that.
important.
Yes, you are so important. You are the channel for that energy. If you did not exist, then that information, that guidance could not come through, because you are the channel for it.
Exactly.
So you actually work a lot with people around money, don't you?
Well, yeah, it's one of the major things, I think, particularly with women entrepreneurs who are essentially what I work with.
Yeah.
It's one of the major things because, you know, we've been disempowered by choice and by circumstance and by society, so that we don't have that grounding in financial stuff that men seem to naturally have more than we do. And oftentimes, and certainly for me, it was because I just refused to look at it.
Yeah, I've been there. Hello.
And that's simply because we grow up kind of thinking, well, Dad's looking after me and then my husband's looking after me. Or, you know, shoes just appear in the closet. I wish. These sorts of things. So we just don't put that energy in until we decide to do so. So yeah, that's why I think money is such a thing, and and it's a good thing. I mean, you know, I truly believe that everything we live has to be lived in order for us to reach where we're going.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I believe that women who
Sorry, my battery's just getting rid of that little thing. We can still see you. Okay.
women who have had money problems and then felt compelled or this need to build a business, it's all in perfect timing because women have to rise now. If we'd been in that place a long time ago, it wouldn't have been the perfect timing.
Yes.
For the change that the world needs to go through, and it's got to be led through women.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So can I ask then, oh, hey Lucy, hey Robin, nice to see
Hi,
you
Lucy.
guys. So
Hi, Robin.
my question then is, how do you use your gifts in the everyday world? And I suppose let's talk about your work particularly. Like, how does that show up for your clients? How does it even help them?
Whoa, that is such a big question. But if I could just say very quickly, first of all, I use it for myself first.
Yep.
So at the beginning of every day, I spend time with my guides. And I talk about how I might serve them in order to serve my clients.
Yep.
And I ask for guidance around that. And yeah, I have a ritual that I do every single morning that allows me to tap into that, but still be very grounded. They help me with my marketing.
Yes.
They tell me when to post on Facebook. Well, it's a collaboration.
Yes.
You know, a true collaboration.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is all about. Each and every one of us stepping into this for ourselves, then we can serve it to everyone else.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants it from us. So with my clients, essentially, it depends what I'm doing with them, but again, I've come into a real place of collaboration with my guides. You know, I'll often be channeling for someone, and then they'll move away, and I'll come through and just start speaking about something that's more practical, because I'm all about the practicality.
Absolutely. 'Cause we have to be practical. We're living in the real world. So the real world, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know why I said that, but it is definitely about being practical and applying
Absolutely.
this stuff to help us.
Application. Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
What's the point of it if we don't apply it into the world in a way that works in the world?
Yeah.
Of course, that's not saying that we have to do it in the masculine, patriarchal way that we've been doing it, but when you work in this collaborative way with your guides and your own self, or God, or the universe, or whatever
you want to call it,
whatever,
yes.
when you can work in that and give to yourself so that you can give to others, it's truly that filling your bucket so that you can then overspill to everyone else.
Yeah.
And of course, when you do that, you can be very grounded in your work.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really, they come through a bit and I come through a bit, and it just merges all into one. It's I love where it is now. I really do. It's a beautiful place.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Whew. That was a lot of information to take in. Thank you, Anne, so much for joining me for this chat.
My pleasure.
I learned something. I'm pretty sure people out there have learned stuff as well.
I hope so.
I'm going to ask Anne to put a link to her website in the comments below. So if you want to find out more about her work and just her background, she's got her her story on her website, which I tell you, check it out. It's very interesting reading, and certainly your journey has been very different to mine. It's just another illustration of how everyone's experience is really unique to them.
Exactly,
Yeah?
and so it should be.
Absolutely. 'Cause we're all individuals, baby.
And yet we're all one as well.
Yes. Try and get your head around that
I
on a
love
Friday
the paradox.
afternoon.
Love the paradox.
All right, guys, you have an awesome afternoon, and we
Thank
will
you.
see you all again soon. Bye for now.